What if I told you that the book of Numbers, yes, that old book buried in the middle of the Bible, isn't just a bunch of ancient stories, but a historical survival journal written with divine precision? Let's start with the population count. Numbers 146 tells us there were over 600,000 men in the Israelite camp, add women and children. And you're looking at nearly 2 million people in the desert for 40 years. Too much to believe? Maybe not. Egyptian records from the New Kingdom period mention large groups of Semitic laborers leaving Egypt during periods of unrest. Not slaves, but workers, just like the Israelites were. The Apur Papyrus even speaks of water turning to blood and servants escaping, events that strangely echo the Exodus story. Now the desert journey. Could 2 million people survive in the Sinai? Archaeologists have discovered campsites, pottery fragments, and ancient roadways in the very areas the Israelites are said to have traveled. One site at Kadesh Barnea even shows long-term habitation right where the Bible says they camped for years. The food? Manna is often laughed off. But did you know that in the Sinai, the tamarisk tree produces a flaky, sweet resin that melts in the sun? Locals collect and eat it to this day. It's rare and perishable, just like the manna described in Numbers 11. And what about the pillar of cloud by day and fire by night? Sounds supernatural, right? But desert tribes, including the Midianites, have oral traditions of divine fire and guiding clouds. Some scholars believe it could have been a volcanic plume or an atmospheric phenomenon, misunderstood, but real. Then there's Balaam, the pagan prophet hired to curse Israel. For years, he was dismissed as myth. But in 1967, archaeologists at Deir al-Ar in Jordan uncovered an inscription that literally names Balaam, son of Beor, the same figure in Numbers 22. It calls him a seer of the gods. That's not fiction. That's archaeology. And those long lists of tribes, numbers, offerings? Boring? Maybe. But they're exactly what you'd expect in an ancient military census. Organized, consistent, and repeated in a way that's typical for Bronze Age record keeping. The Book of Numbers isn't a myth. It's a survival log, a census report, and a spiritual roadmap. It's where faith meets fact, and the line between miracle and history becomes very, very thin.